where he can find them and holding on to the game. We'll see whether he can here in this next one as we dive into the draft for Game 2. KT with that blue side once again, and so maybe it's the Wukong first pick into Yunara action thing or something.
Yunara Wukong is still the focus here. Once again, the Aurora will be banned, even though Gwen was already played.
I mean, it's Keen. He's very, very good at the champion.
So they're just going to take that away. The Varus will follow again on blue side, interestingly. So hoping for maybe a red side Wukong ban that I don't think we're going to see. I think it'll be the Yunara ban
they have to ban it themselves if the Yunara doesn't get banned, isn't going to get banned.
I think Gen.G might just ban it again, and we just reset, and then Wukong gets banned here.
So they'll take it away themselves. Because they want to first pick the Yunara, they don't want to risk Ruler just picking it up himself, even if it is going to be into a Wukong, so you can understand that.
Are we just going to, like, what is the plan here is where I get most interested. Are we just going to go for Rumble first pick? Are we going for Orianna first pick? Like, what's the game plan? We're just going to lock away the jungler. That's cool in terms of, okay, we're at the top of the tier list here, but what does it necessarily mean against a player who has been so heralded throughout his very long career of having tons of answers to meta picks, like his Skarner. He has been the best Skarner answerer to Xin Zhao since round 1, by the way.
Yep.
But also with a massive champion pool. So now you give over the Skarner, and we'll see what Gen.G grab with it. But identity-wise here, I would have rather seen KT show something that's a little bit more rock solid than I picked the best pick that's left.
Oh, it could be a Malphite angle. We'll see where they do decide to go.
All right, well, this doesn't necessarily need to have a strong partner, the Skarner. You know, there's picks that it works really well with, like Rumble, which they may just take here, and I think is probably the best option.
Not on red side.
I think it doesn't matter that much in terms of what Gen.G are going to get done. I know it's bugged, yes, and like it does a little bit less damage, but we've been doing it for a long time, Atlas.
We have, but I still don't like it, and they're still going to do it.
Keen doesn't care.
Yeah. Well, let's see whether Perfect can capitalize.
So, like, there's a world where you expected Rumble and Skarner to come out after picking Xin Zhao, and you have an answer. Just picking the answer that's in the textbook, if you look up Rumble, like, there's like a section where it says, like, acceptable counters at the bottom. It says Ornn there, so that does work. But what is the comp going to look like is what I'm more curious about, because I see Annie, Xin Zhao, Ornn, and I go, well, I hope Duck Dom's on a hyper carry, a real big one. Maybe an Aphelios? That'd be cool. I could be down for that.
Nah, give me the Jinx. I want Jinx to finally make her way back. I think that champion is very good. Outranges a whole bunch of stuff. They will probably be able to see the AD carry face up, so that could be the opportunity as Chovy. I think like this.
Chovy loves Galio and Annie.
Both teams really want big old hyper carries.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think that while Ornn is good into Rumble, you know, the Rumble usually gets a lot of lane prio. And we'll see if Perfect can weather the storm there. He should be able to, right?
Yep.
They'll take away the Illusion, which I find to be interesting. Both teams want the hyper carry, right? The Sivir ban, I think, would have been, like, both teams would love to have that pick, but since Gen.G get to pick first, it's KT who has to ban it again on blue side here.
Yeah, it's an especially good pick for Gen.G at the moment.
Yeah, it's just crazy for them. Yeah, 100%.
Let's see the next one here for Gen.G.
I think Zeri is a fine ban. Like, weirdly enough, anything that can do really well in late game team fights where you have this front line and the ornaments feels good. Kai'Sa, I don't think that... I'm glad that they banned that for KT's sake. Yeah, me too. I don't really... I know Kai'Sa has a crazy win rate right now and is doing really well, but I don't think KT really intending on following up on an Annie stun with Kai'Sa in this draft too much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there are certainly angles where, you know, you land a really good ult from the Ornn and make something happen.
We are setting up for the Giga Jinx angle.
It's the Jinx angle.
Okay, this maybe not necessarily as Giga Jinx, but still...
I mean, it's jinxable. This is jinxable.
It is still jinxable for sure. It's also Apheliosable, I do feel.
Yeah, true.
It's also Caitlynable, but I don't think they're going to do it. As Ezreal, everyone thinks this champ is in a really rough spot right now, and clearly Gen.G are concerned about the dive opportunities that KT's comp does allow. And they're going to, they ban Kai'Sa and they go for the safe Ezreal here. Xayah will be the response.
It just doesn't fill me with joy. Still, they do manage to get the Lovers Duo. That is very, very powerful. I believe it's Elk and On that are like 10-1 on this combo over in the LPL.
The thing about the Xayah into this draft, if it wasn't Ezreal, I'd be like, yeah, great. Like, you are running into Skarner, Galio. Like, they're going to be in your auto attack range. You're going to get a ton of feather value. You have great turn in this draft. But into the Ezreal means that setup on objectives becomes a lot harder. It's not unplayable, but it's certainly, Ruler has all the cards. Like, he holds the ball's in his court when we set up for 5v5s. And if Gen.G have Prio, which, you know, look at the stats for that, it's pretty Gen.G favor. They usually do have objective control. They usually do have vision control. They're usually massively ahead in gold when we get to the late game. It's a little bit concerning. And then Poppy's up, so you picked Rakan. And Duro's just like, well, I know what the answer to that is. I just, if you're going to go straight into Xin Zhao and then you're going to go, aha, they picked Rumble, I see that, and I just go Ornn, then I want to see something that when this comp comes together, I'm like, damn, I really liked how they rounded that out. I really love the hyper carry potential there. And Xayah can be that late game win con, can do well with Ornn. Ornn can set up the Xayah because the Ornn Horn gives you the opportunity to then close that gap and then do that massive damage. But I do think there were better options. Jinx was one of the ones that I was excited to potentially see. No,
I like the Jinx angle. I do think that because it's Xayah Rakan, I didn't see the Rakan being left up. Yes, straight into a Poppy. That doesn't feel fantastic. But as far as just how the draft looks from KT, it looks fantastic. Like, if you saw this and it wasn't KT that was at the start of everyone's name, you'd be like, oh, okay, we could have a game on our hands. And honestly, I think this one's going to be a possibility. Yeah, it's relatively short range, but there's not a massive amount of range on the side of Gen.G either. It's, yes, you know, Ezreal theoretically outranges it, but not by that much, and it's not going to be as much of a big deal. See whether KT can utilize it, though. That's the big problem.
수환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the Rift to see whether KT can bring us to the 3-game banger. And I think and also I want to delve into the Ornn situation as well, because Ornn only needs levels.
True.
Right? Doesn't need farm.
He didn't have a ton of those levels last game either, but
hey, he had more levels than he had farm.
That's true.
On a relative basis.
Yeah, sure.
Game to game. So I do think that this is going to suit them a little bit better. Cuz is on a champion that he can get things done early with, and he can pair with BDD to get those skirmishes happening as well. Wei can help out. I think like a lot of it will come down to execution, but the tools at KT's disposal should be enough. Like, we're not going to be blaming draft by the end of this one, unless Gen.G loses, which we might a little bit, because I don't like this one as much. I think that as you mentioned earlier, Ezreal not in a fantastic position at the moment. They're not representing a massive amount of DPS, depending on what build Chovy goes and how far ahead they can get. But I think it will be relying a little bit on a snowball.
I don't think Thuro really wants to charge in here, but was posturing aggressively. Here's a question that KT has to answer, okay? Who does BDD engage on in 5v5 fights when they don't have Prio? Does he just stun Canyon and pray that like Perfect gets the knock-up and Duck Dom's damage is enough on 3 items later on to kill Canyon? Is it Chovy who's going to be, you know, going for a Galio build where he isn't that tanky, doesn't have that much armor? They try to burst him down with some of Duck Dom's damage. Because when you're playing into this comp for Gen.G and you're behind, like, BDD can't just like hide on bush because he has to walk towards Gen.G, who are the ones who have the vision control. So if you lose control, if you lose tempo, not tempo vibes, but if you lose tempo, because KT did not have tempo vibes, not even a little bit.
I mean, I think they should with this comp.
I mean, you're the tempo vibes guys, so like if you think
so the tempo vibes will be like Gen.G are just holding on in their lanes quite nicely. Top side should, of course, have push advantage for Keen, but as we saw in the mid lane, BDD is able to get some shove. BDD in this matchup, Chovy in this matchup has been able to just go even.
Yeah, he's been super good.
And that is kind of what he's doing right now, which is a little bit of a worrying sign for KT. So if they can stop that from happening, if BDD can get an advantage and him and Cuz can get around the Rift, then this could be a game that KT actually has some tempo vibes in, you know?
Pretty early back here for Chovy, but there's not really much BDD can do to punish it. We'll interrupt the taunt. Jovi's like, cool, I still get my punch afterwards. Denies one ranged minion.
There you go.
Small advantages. Small baby steps. Like, if BD hits all 3, he's up 1 CS.
Perfect just got a cannon. This is huge news.
That is,
You might think that it's cope, but KT are doing things. Oh, never mind. Maybe this is not the things they wanted to be doing. Wait, is at least able to battle dance his way out. As Dr. Arm taking a lot of damage on the outset of the play.
The Ezreal feels so good into the Annie, so we're going to have to talk about what Ezreal feels good when he has a jungler that's going to slam somebody into a wall.
Yeah, Canyon is just going to throw a rock into this bottom lane. Decent little knock up there from Wei. It doesn't get stunned into the wall, as now Dura going to have to flash to get himself out of the way. That was not the dive that Gen.G were looking for, but they're still sticking around. They've held onto this wave, so they might be able to get another opportunity, but these health bars are not very high, and Wei is holding this wave just offside. Canyon just going to flash in, though, and there is first blood. Never mind.
All Canyon has to do...
just takes a little bit longer as Ruler almost died.
Oh,
the flash! Okay, does get the flash out from Ruler, but I think the Xayah flash a little more valuable.
Yeah, at this point, given that Ezreal basically has a flash on his E, it's still a nice try there from Ducktom. You get at least something back. But ultimately, if he got the kill there, would have felt a lot better, which is why he goes for it. If Ruler doesn't react instantly, maybe there's something to come of this. But the initial dive is really messed up here by Wei, and the block on Canyon is massive. Duro takes the turret aggro, then the flash has to come out. It's the follow-up dive, which is so difficult to deal with because all Canyon needs to do is flash in to guarantee that both he gets that engage and also the turret aggro. So that's the biggest concern. They eventually get the wave, he gets the flash on the Wei. And then Ducktom is like, Ruler takes an extra turret shot, maybe? No, not quite.
I don't even know why the turret got angry at him. He must have hit him just after Canyon got out of range.
Yeah.
It did look like they were just out scot-free.
Yeah, I think that's just unlucky for him there in terms of the timing.
Yep.
But, I mean, that's already step 1, like a level 4 Skarner gank dive into your lane. Trades were bad, which is part of why this happened, right? Like, Wei went straight into a steadfast presence. They lost a bunch of health, and Canyon's like, well, see if we get an opportunity down here.
Yep, and now you can do that thing that you were doing before, which was talking about KT having to play from behind, because they are officially behind.
Yeah,
as of right now.
Official, they're going to lose the first dragon here. Now, Cuz is going to try to make a play topside onto Keen.
Well, Keen is going to try to recall. This is not going to work. Cuz can make the wind become the lightning.
He doesn't have his ult either because he already used it. Try to clear the wave to get that recall. He's probably just going to have to walk out.
Yep, he is going to be able to do that.
He still has TP, though.
He misses a large wave because he's not teleporting back to this one unless he wants to die.
Sure, he's going to have to back and then TP bottom side as Ruler is coming up. So some minions lost here. As in fact, Duro is the one who TPs first. This is a little bit awkward here, as Ruler can't quite get back.
Yeah, plate gold is coming on over, as, the cannon's actually collected for Ruler. Kind of nutty that he's able to get that money. That feels very, very good. And Ruler and Duro able to set themselves back up. So, yeah, KT get a plate for the Xayah. But that is about it.
So she's only 350 behind.
There we go, there's something.
And, I mean, bottom side, Perfect went down there first in the swap, right? Didn't get a huge lead from it, but actually, like, is up on farm, is up 250 gold. Obviously, this wave will crash, and that'll diminish a little bit as Keen catches it. He had the TP. But KT were able to get at least something. Like, they have now halved the gold lead that Gen.G had at just under 1,000. So, small kickbacks here. And I'm looking at the situation for, I was asking that question earlier about BDD. Who does he engage on? Who does he catch? If he could flank and catch the Rumble, that's a member that doesn't have an arcane shift or a lot of health and armor and tankiness to then survive. Like, he's not gonna have big MR when that bear drops down. Like, maybe he could be the target BDD finds, but again, it's a lot of, do you have prio? Can you actually walk up? Chovy is going to leave lane here, and BDD may be able to crash a few minions away from him.
Trisha Barrage going to soften up Wei there a little bit. It looks like at least, Dr. and Wei aren't falling any further behind or anything like that outside of losing some health bars. The CS numbers are doing all right. As Canyon's going to make his way over. Oh, never mind. It could just be doomed. As Wei not going to be... Oh, he actually waits out the steadfast presence, just barely survives. As the KT bottom lane do limp their way out of there. That should mean that Gen.G are easily able to take these grubs, though.
It's grubs, and also Ruler might just push this wave in and grab a plate because he can.
Chovy does get ulted back there by Cuz. Chovy gonna have to flash. Does do so to get himself out of dodge.
BDD has really been putting the pressure on in this lane. He forced Chovy to back moments before, and Chovy didn't quite have his TP up, so had to back and lost some minions there, and is now forced out completely. Now that he does have his TP up, he will be able to go straight back to lane, so it won't be the end of the world, but BD's finding these angles, finding these opportunities, finding these flashes. Certainly a small victory. Again, we talk about these small victories for KT, but getting small victories against Gen.G feel like getting massive victories. It's the hardest team to get any victory against, and
but I mean, I want to go back to the tempo vibes just a bit here. I know that people are, you know, probably a bit tired of it, but it's something that I do need to talk about, because while like Chovy's getting forced back and KT's putting on the pressure, because of the fact that this bottom lane duo here from Gen.G are so far ahead and so much control and pushing Dum away around, it's still just free grubs over to Gen.G. It's still them with 2 objectives on the map. It still feels like Gen.G just has more.
They do. And the thing about grubs in these 2 comps is that they're not the most impactful because it's Galio, Rumble, Annie, Ornn in terms of side laners. So it's not like there's a Gwen in this game or a Tristana or a Jax or a Fiora that's going to be demolishing turrets, but it still is relevant, especially when it comes to pushes later on in the game, Barons, things like that. I mean, that damage will really add up. So it's not the end of the world for KT, but still, like you said, it's +1 objective, plus more map control, and, you know, further proof that Gen.G's composition absolutely can function, and it is already starting to become a problem. Like, this Ezreal Poppy play has been fantastic from Ruler and Duro. You can see how, like, Ruler set that up with his True Shot Barrage. Like, he was 2 steps ahead of, like, okay, I think I can get kill pressure here. It's just insane to watch. Duro gets on top of Wei, so he can't actually use his W to get out. He's forcing them back away. Drops the Ignite in desperation.
Well, Canyon is going to make his way in here. Does set up, but Duro does have the inside track. Dum going to come on over. He actually blast coned his way in. There's the Impale, but Cuz still keeping himself relatively safe. The flash out there from Cuz as they go back in looking for Chovy. That is going to be the kill. It goes over to Wei, unfortunately, but they'll take it. They are going to even things out. Now the stun is going to connect, and the 1-2 punch here of the Xin Zhao Annie is going to work until they are evicted from the play. And Cuz just goes down. There's the knock-up as the answer might actually be here, and there it is. Feathers get pulled back. Wei might be dead, but BDD is just going to wander his way back in. No mana to speak of, but he is still scary enough to get rid of Gen.G.
They're going to actually stop Duro's back. Small victory there.
Oh, Ruler. This could be very scary, as at least BDD is coming over there to say no Ruler.
Yeah, he does
not allowed.
Does not have barrier, but had a ton of health, so wants to try to force the issue there. He had cleanse, so isn't scared of a potential stun from BDD. This looks at the outset here like a bit of a overextension from KT because of the Galio ult. Canyon has Impale as well, but it kind of messes up the value there that Chovy's looking for, and then Chovy just finds himself in the middle of a team fight, which is a meat grinder. This Aya ult comes out. Canyon gets out of these feathers, which is really critical. Then KT have the numbers advantage, right? BDD gets his stun ready. Duro helped out here by his ultimate so incredibly well. Pushes BDD away, and Ruler adds so much damage. The fact that they are able to get a kill back here is just insane to me. Canyon, though, doesn't leave, so it ends up being another trade up for KT. Gold now dead even. You know, we had 1,000, then it was 500 when we last checked in, and now it's basically 0. Gen.G have like 200 gold in the tank. Yep, and this game starts to feel a lot more playable after that scenario.
100%. And now Wei is going to try and get out of the way. Dum here could be in trouble, but that's going to be the snare. The quickness comes on through. The flash has to be employed to get Canyon out of trouble, as the teleport in from BDD is looking for Ruler. Does manage to find him. True Shot Barrage just bit. Wow, Wei just didn't even flinch.
Yeah, Wei's like, I've seen a lot of True Shot
I think he should have flinched. I don't know.
The way I look at that is he's like, man, I've seen over 10,000 True Shot Barrages. I know that one's not going to hit.
Oh, I don't know. Hitboxes in this game seem to change day to day. That's my experience.
Maybe Peter flinches. Wei is like, nah, I
guess not. That's going to bring him a little bit of tempo back.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really aggressive play that cost Canyon this flash, right? Ruler doesn't have cleanse anymore.
Oh, we got a ward going into this brush. They spot all 4 members as the equalizer goes down. Goodbye, jungler. Thanks for the leash, says Gen.G, as Canyon very comfortably steals that away. The Ornhorn going to come down as he just turns his way out of it. Oh, no. Oh, well, KT. I guess Gen.G going to be thankful for the leash.
Toby not even there. We're going to get plate gold on the top side. Canyon, should just actually catch
the hidden
now.
Scorpion. The Impale went a direction.
Yeah, didn't quite catch him actually, so never mind on that one. Toby grabs plate money, and KT lose some of the lead that they had there.
소멸됩니다.
And I mean, Nocturne wants to get this plate here. It's a big wave. Is Zaya into Ezreal? Ruler misses that. Maybe he can barely get it. Looks like he just barely will. So that's money.
Yeah, a little bit more coming back. 250 going to be the
Chovy.
difference here. As Chovy could, he is in a lot of trouble. There's not a lot of justice in that punch. As a bear goes down, he taunts them all, and they're like, yes. And then they kill him. And that is going to be Feats of Warfare actually going over to KT. So just a turret, and they will be able to get themselves some upgraded shoes.
Yeah, that was, I liked where Chovy was going with it the last time, where there was no one to contest and they were winning the fight and he got plate gold, but then stayed for a very long time there without really any secured vision and just gets punished for it. The kill goes over to Cuz, which isn't the end of the world. Xin Zhao actually uses gold pretty well. It's got his Sundered Sky already. BD would have loved to have it, but either way, it's still a big win to pull Chovy off of the map. As you can see, he has one control ward here, but it's a full wraparound. By the time they get to the control vision, he's way ahead of it. And so it just doesn't have anybody do anything here. Good zoning there from Wei. Punch is denied. He was going to die no matter what.
Yeah. Very, very dead. And this is what we want to see, right? We want to see the Rakan and the Xin Zhao just walking over to the other damage dealers and taking names. That's precisely what they're able to do. Off the back end, it is Ruler extending that lead a little bit further. Things like this, the Ezreal is very strong right now, looking for item number 2 that should be coming in relatively soon, but with Trinity Force, it's already a big deal. We know that Ruler has been able to get a lot of work done on this champion in the past, even if we don't necessarily like it as much now. It is still Ruler, he is still Ezreal, and so it could still be a big problem with KT.
Yeah, they have a lot of control here over the river and Herald, so Ruler can push up to almost melee range on that turret without any fear. And Chovy shows up now, does have his ultimate, so skirmishing here is going to be really tricky, and Geen has a teleport TP.
No teleport for perfect, you cannot fight this KT.
There's no way.
Yep, Duro is just going to send Cuz away, and that is a guaranteed take on the Rift Herald. KT's still wanting to look for something here. I'm not sure about it as the equalizer goes down. And Wei, able to use that quickness, getting himself out of the way as Stockdom's so incredibly close to dead, but will be able to keep himself alive. And the question I have is, like, why?
Yeah.
Why are we fighting? Why are we doing this? The flash out from Cuz gets him to safety, but why does he need to get to safety? As Wei is almost dead, he gets out, but why? BD flashes in! And I think I know why he was looking for a kill, but I just don't know whether he's going to be able to find it, as now they're able to back away. KT, we don't have to.
No. And, like,
all right,
Canyon is just going to make sure they don't try to defend this turret, but remember when I asked the question about who does BDD ult if they don't have any prio? He didn't do anything until he ulted randomly at the end, and it didn't do anything either. But, like, in that fight, he was there. He's like, hold on, maybe we could fight this. Perfect's coming up. Let's beat them here. And, like, Duckdom living was really impressive, and I had the exact same thought in my mind. It's like, it's really cool that Duckdom lives here. Like, watch how he plays against the damage he gets out. Like, however, like, he could have just not used his ult, flash, and barrier, and just been like, okay, I guess they get Herald, and our Ornn pushes a little bit to the bottom side. Perfect does show up in ults, but it doesn't matter. And BD is over here like, I can't, Wolf. There is no target. There is no target, Wolf. I got Duro. Oh, not what I wanted. Toby gets the double, and they just have to leave. They should have left earlier.
Yeah, they didn't need to be around here at all. They could have left their Ornn in the bottom lane.
Yeah, no, I think they should have.
They should have said that, like, this Rift Herald is not going to go to us, so we can't do anything about it.
You're the Ornn comp. You don't have to force fights like that when your Ornn can't get there fast enough. If Perfect is there, if he has TP and matches Keen, or...
Yeah, it's fine.
Or you're
already too late. Cut your losses.
Yeah, if you deny Keen's teleport somehow, and then maybe you take a 4v4 there, and if you play it perfect, but they just... No.
Yeah, I don't think they read the tempo vibes.
No.
I think that might have been what happened. Gen.G have firmly got those ones in their control, despite the fact that they're not exactly massively ahead. They just seem to have the answers this game. As BDD trying to be sneaky, it is going to get spotted out there by Keen. And Wei is just going to try and push Canyon out of here. More battling, as this time Perfect does have his teleport. Now we're actually fighting for an objective. And Gen.G are in the area. Duro with a beautiful angle. True Shot Barrage just means that Cuz and Wei are already so low. They do get the redemption, so this health bar isn't too much of a problem, but Wei is going to have to try and get himself out, and I just don't know whether it's going to happen. Gets a knock-up onto Canyon here, but no one's there to follow up.
Chovy the whole time is denying entry for Perfect. He's like, you can't get in here. I'm not going to allow it. Not going to let that Ornn actually Ornn-horn this fight. And we have complete control on the bottom side. Chovy's like literally chasing him to the mid turret now. He's like, yo, you are not actually coming to this objective fight. KT, I'm going to deny you the fight you shouldn't have taken last time. This time you just cannot even get there. And that's a free dragon.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
And with no cross map, no return.
No.
Wei?
Well, yeah, he didn't even have ult, so it wasn't like he was going to set up for a huge play anyway, but Equalizer goes down, and Gen.G looking to take that Drake and then move on and grab this turret. In the meantime, Chovy is in the top lane, taking the outer turret up there.
So it's Gen.G who gets the objective and the cross map, I see.
Yes. Gen.G is taking the objective and cross mapping.
It's not really a cross map if you got the objective though, so it's like a double map?
Yeah, I think it is still a cross map, but you're just doing the thing that your opponent is supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So they got objectives on both sides of the map, which goes against the like Newton had a law about this, I think.
Yeah, we were talking about that guy. This is an apple to the head, if ever I've seen one. We'll say that.
Yeah, it certainly might be a learning moment. It might be a bit of
a learning moment.
Might be a bit of eureka for Perfect. Not staying inside. To be fair, again, Chovy denied his entry to that fight. And I think without the Ornn, they just can't win it.
And it is beautifully played. The fact that they read the fact that there is no real way for them to do too much if they don't have the quickness, if Wei doesn't have options. And they just mark him. They make sure that he's low enough for it not to be as much of an issue.
It's like a safety check, you know, for Gen.
Yeah.
They run the check before the plane takes off. Like, all right, everything's good to go. All right, take the dragon. And KT's like, oh, I'm a problem that we might have to solve. No, I already did the check on the Ornn. I did the check on the Recon engage. We're good to go. Take that dragon. Gen.G now have choke point control with Impale.
And there's also no objective to fight for, so maybe this is time for KT to fight. Yes, it precisely is, as they go in onto Canyon, who just says, and what? And the and what is nothing.
Keen had his ultimate in like 3 seconds before that fight was about to break out and had TP. Instead, because they don't need him, he just pushes top side.
Ooh, Perfect, doesn't quite get the knock up there onto Chovy, as he breathes on some minions. True Shot Barrage just to clear out the wave, and that will successfully do so. I feel like they're using this Ezreal.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was literally going to say the same thing.
Tempo this game.
I was actually literally going to say the same thing. Every single True Shot Barrage has had a reason.
Yeah, and it's like thinning waves, making sure health bars are low, like denying fights. Like, it must be so frustrating to play into.
It's pretty crazy. Like, Duro's definitely getting palm if this continues at the current rate because of his Game 1 performance and also his great disengage earlier. He's 100% KP, but I don't know. Ruler is... He's trying to get a few votes. He might get a cheeky cheek out of this one. I don't know.
Yep. I reckon he can have my soup vote, 100%. He's looking real good.
He's just had a phenomenal game on a pick that's really niche right now, but it suits the draft, and he's one lane with it. He's got both of the kills. I don't have anything bad to say. Only positive things.
When in doubt, Otacon.
I mean, they're trying to force an unfavorable fight with the power they have.
Teleport now. Teleport now, Perfect. Perfect, teleport now.
Teleport now, teleporting now. He's teleporting far away.
Okay, he is going to teleport now, at least. As there's the knock-up on the Canyon. They want to be able to take down the jungler. He's so tanky. Still, he's able to deliver a gargoyle and flash away. Tibbers gets ulted on. True Shot Barrage this time is not going to find the mark. Neither does the Equalizer really, although Doctom is so incredibly low. Chovy dives in, gets the Featherstorm out here as Doctom uses the barrier. Canyon, he manages to snipe him. Down goes the Lover's Jaw. The Ornn is picked up, and it's an instant triple for Ruler, who is now 5-0. 100% of the kills here for Gen.G.
Not 100% kill participation, although he technically is. He's just 100% kills. Well, that may just be the backbreaker in this one. What was a relatively close game until Gen.G ended up getting too much control, and then a desperate Otacon now means KT just got nothing, and it looked so good until Canyon's Impale. Like,
yeah, there's impales and there's impales. You know, sometimes you can get a stick like stuck somewhere in your hand. Or this is like a stake to the heart, and that's what Canyon just did.
If KT pull off of the Otacon too, like then Gen.G just slow play it, and then you lose out anyways. Keen has this flank angle, and by the time this Ornhorn comes out, like he solo ults Keen, and then the opportunity here with the Impale.
Oh my goodness,
just insane. Duckdom just burned away.
Duckdom also just accidentally died offside because he did manage to get the flash off in time. I kind of thought that he was a victim of that Impale as well, but wasn't actually. It was just Ruler that hit him with a couple of abilities and he died.
It's the way it looked for Duckdom at the beginning, like his feathers into Chovy may have made it look like, or it did look like for a brief moment that Chovy maybe overextended with that play after they denied the Otacon. The equalizer was decent, but just too much Gen.G, too good of Ezreal play, and
this is Ocean Soul.
It is.
Maybe, like, if Ruler does get every kill in this game, maybe we do have to give him palm.
I'm kind of okay with the concept.
I do think it's probably still Duro. You might be right, but if he does get every kill in the game, that would be pretty. He just missed a cannon. Never mind, it's Duro.
Duro's still 100% KP also.
True.
In a game where his biggest wins have been setting Ruler up in lane and then otherwise peeling in team fights. Like, he's had some great peel ultimates. He also has removed some big targets, like he took BDD out in one of those big fights on Dragon earlier. Does KT now just have to resort to tricks? We've talked about this a lot in the LCK. When you're behind against a team like Gen.G, you just have to go hide on bush and hope for the best.
I mean, it's Molten Edge time as well, so at least Duckdom is doing a bunch of extra damage. BDD does take down Duro as they set the trap and look to take... Canyon's drifting has been so sick today.
He's the only Skarner player in our league right now, and so he is by default the best, but if everyone was playing Skarner and I watched this game, I'd be like, well, he's the best.
Yeah. Ruler is going to take down in
like,
get himself out of the way. As Canyon, I mean, it was a cool play, but I think maybe he heard us saying that he was like super cool and stuff, and then he does that thing where he goes a little bit too far.
I don't know, we just panned over and I watched Duckdom with his ult get impaled, and I was like, that's a good play, but...
They are flashing in. Great quickness play there onto Keen as the equalizer is in a decent position. The gargoyle delivery is so good, and Keen picks up the first kill for not Ruler in this game, and Ruler is a bit angry about that, so he's going to grab another one for himself as what goes up must come down, and that equals another double here for Ruler. 7-0 here for this Ezreal, and now Wei is getting chased down. True Shot Barrage, if that connected, he was dead, but he is not.
Wei knows about True Shot Barrage, just figure that out.
He has, now that he's been, at the receiving end of it.
Well, the idea for KT, I think, in this one is Canyon gets an Impale, and it's like, oh my god, he got knocked on, but there's no follow-up, and they're like, okay, this is our in. There's no Impale anymore. They're out of position. We can force this fight. Let's chase them down. And, like...
KT just kind of looked blindfolded.
Well, we're going a bit further back here, but Duro gets taken out initially. Canyon, the target of this, but drifts away. I'd rather see this. Okay, so Canyon has control vision here, so he just catches them on the pathing. But because of Perfect, Ruler can't close the gap there to follow up, and then they get the kill onto Canyon. Ruler has already used his shift. Flashes away. Does not actually want to continue here. And then KT, instead of just taking the W and looking for a little bit of Baron control, they're like flashing in here with Wei and Cuz to try to kill Keen. And Chovy has ultimate, gets in here, and the rest of the team is just so split now.
I mean, it was 3v5. Like, they should be making that play. It's just unfortunately, they get hit by the big old Ruler wallet in the end, and it's just doomed.
Duckdom can't close the gap. Like, it's Wei and a Xinjiao, like Cousin Wei go in, but then there's just not enough follow-up, and then Chovy buys enough time, and then if Duckdom was there, I think 100% you smash that fight, but he just wasn't there in time.
Yeah, well, he's here now. There you go. The Ram, all right. We get a Bellows Breath. There's a nice knock-up onto Ruler. I mean, nothing's really going to come of it as the Arcane Shift gets him out of that grand entrance, cuz, the Impale's so good here from Canyon. Once again, Ruler gets his 8th. He's legendary. He already was. I mean, it's Ruler, but he's going to grab a 9th here on the back end. As Gen.G, I think they want to go home. I think they're kind of done with this one as they are looking for their first inhibitor of the game. Keen was in the bottom lane, by the way, guys, pushing this Baron wave towards this inhibitor, and they'll take 2 at the same time, which is kind of what they've been doing all game.
Yeah, that's really a great way to put it. Atlas says, okay, maybe we get one?
Nah, it's Gargoyle delivery. That's what's going to come on through here as Joby puts himself in position with a great Justice Punch. The Nexus, it belongs to Gen.G now as Ruler. Bobbing for apples, takes down Dr. Arm. BDD, the next one in trouble as they just destroy them on their fountain. And Gen.G, yeah, they'll make swift work of KT here today.
Is it Ruler Palm? Like, he got 10 kills.
Absolutely obliterated that game.
Yeah, I think he just kind of steals it from Girl.